Premiership Power Rankings, folks. We're getting into the business end. I think like 23 rounds into the competition. We'll go through the Power Rankings. As always, some teams are up and down and whatnot. And you guys can let me know your thoughts on how fairly or not the rankings are looking. Down a couple of spots. After a nice win, breaking a huge losing run, it's back to losing ways for Newcastle. What can you say, man? London Irish gave them an absolute hammering, which was pretty disappointing at home as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, that was one of the worst results of the previous round, and Newcastle kind of paid the price. It would have been a fascinating year if there'd been relegation between Newcastle, Bath, and Worcester, right? It would have been a real battle right down to the end, but fortunately for those three teams, no such concerns. 12th and the same spot as last week. Worcester, they didn't fare much better than Newcastle. They're on like a 2-game losing run. They had a win in recent times, but it's starting to look like a distant memory. Plus they've had a bye in there, so yeah, kind of familiar stuff from Worcester. They actually played better than they looked in terms of the scoreline, but yeah, it still ended up being a pretty poor result. Bath are down 1. Bath were also unlucky in their game against Northampton. They had the winning of that game, man. They had a lead. But it's, I guess, a typical kind of Bath result to somehow snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I know the officiating got a bit of critique as well from that game. But unfortunately for Bath, their 3-game losing run for them now. Bristol, I do have up. Bristol have ended a losing run of their own. I think they were on a 4-game losing run with their 1-point win over Gloucester. Gloucester's season was looking really pretty nice only a couple of months ago, and it's kind of gone downhill as well. But yeah, good win for Bristol, kind of much needed. So that seems them up 3 spots. Speaking of Gloucester, they are down now into the bottom row. I can remember when I had them up in the top, when they were on a really cracking good run of form. Gloucester are down 1, 3-game losing run for them. I mean, they're in 7th on the table, which is only a couple of spots different from when I got them in the power rankings, but there was a time when they were looking like being a genuine contender, and that really does feel like kind of ancient history at this point. These guys, London Irish, have had a bit of a topsy-turvy season, but I would say overall it's been pretty positive. I think they're 6th on the log, which is slightly better than what I've got them, but they've broken a 3-game losing run of their own, up 1 spot. And, I mean, what a way to do it, albeit against Newcastle, who aren't faring that well, but good result for them. One team who I've got dropping like a stone after 1 round is the Chiefs. Goodness me. Their playoff hopes are kind of hanging by a thread, aren't they? They're in 5th, and I know it was Saracens away, which is always a tough one, but it ended up being not much of a contest. They were in it until they weren't, and then they were pretty much dead and buried by the series boys, unfortunately for them. But yeah, they don't look quite the same team as the team a few years ago, but we will see what Rob Baxter can do about that. Sale, we're on the bye, so nothing much doing with them. I think they've actually managed to go up a spot because Exeter managed to drop below them, but they are down in 9th on the actual log. They've certainly had a better second half to the season than the start, but it's been playing a fair bit of catch up for them. Wasps, one team that was, like I said, challenged at the weekend, but still managed to get a pretty strong result. 3-game winning run for them. Maybe it's coming at the right time. They are in 8th on the log, so still a lot of work to do. I haven't written down how many points they've got, but yeah, they certainly need other teams above them to drop some games. Namely, these guys, Northampton, who are up 1 spot. They're on a 4-game run. Wee bit lucky, again, against Bath, but sometimes you need a wee bit of luck to grind out the results that don't come that easily, and they certainly got the job done, so maybe they're coming right just at the right time. Huge change. Leicester have dropped 2 spots. Partly it's because they had a bye a fortnight ago. That's part of it. I score them a 0 for the week they have the bye. Other teams would have been getting wins. Namely the 2 teams that I've got above them, and then they also had a loss, albeit to Quins away. So not a terrible loss, But yeah, it was still a loss. So I've got them down 2. Mainly, this is just saying there are a couple of other teams who are on better runs than them at the moment. But Leicester, don't let the ranking fool you, are still number 1 in terms of the actual table. Quins, I have got bouncing up a spot into 2nd with that game. I think they're on a 6-game streak, so really, really coming right at the right time. The Quins boys, there was a while I had them floating around here, and then they've just gone on this barnstorming run, so good to see. And that means everybody's favourite, Saracens, they're on a good 5-game run of their own. Sarries I've got up to first. First time anyone but Leicester has been top of the log for donkey's years. So, well done. It's looking like a competitive race. Interestingly, the top 4 I've got are the top 4 teams in the on the actual table, just in a different order. It's these guys are in 2nd, these guys are in 3rd, 1st, and 4th. So, there you go. That's how things are looking at this point. What do you guys reckon about the rankings? How would you have them? Do you see it being these 4 teams that make the playoffs, or is there going to be a late push from one of the teams who are out of it? I'll have to go and have a look at the actual table and points and fixtures that are remaining to see who has actually got a chance and who needs what teams to do what permutations there might be. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts as always, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.